the Trump train pulls into the station on Tuesday, and it looks like Hillary's going to end up in jail. That and a lot more as we mock everything that just happened in the last week of news. Oh, and here's the thing. Let's roll it. Show them what a hell of a week we had. Let's not waste any time and get right into it. Jim Comey sent a letter to Congress I don't know if you heard about the other day. And it turns out Hillary did do a bunch of shit wrong. I started by swearing I shouldn't do that. Shame on me. Fantastic, though. That's how exciting this election is after months. I just want it over with. Everybody want this over with at this point? And here goes our projector again. Crazy. All right. I can't do it better than Morning Joe did. So let's go ahead and roll the video. Morning Joe the other morning. The way we were.
What I do know is this, that there was an extensive, as you know, Brett, investigation by the FBI under the direction of a wonderful and tough career public servant, Jim Comey. He's somebody with the highest standards of integrity.
I think Director Comey could not have been more exhaustive.
I am grateful for the professionalism of the FBI and the Department of Justice.
This is a great man. We are very privileged in our country to have him be the director of the FBI.
No one can question the integrity, the competence.
I don't know whether your family's watching this, but I hope that they are as proud of you as I am.
I love that part. And I love that part, Willie. I hope that they are... I can't even...
And you know, that kind of love is unconditional.
It is unconditional.
No matter what happens.
It is a love that a mother has for a child. It is a love that endureth forever. It's... I don't know. You know, that's actually more moving, actually, than...
It's bad when Morning Joe can do a better job making fun of things than we can. That's how angry everyone is at this point. We're just sick of it. We want it over with. And I'm not saying the Democrats flip-flopped on the entire James Comey situation. I'm just saying, take a look at the covers of the Washington Post. Little bit different. One day he's a hero, the next day he's an absolute villain. This is good. Here we go. And also, I really love this email. Of all the dumps that came out, we're going to have to dump all those emails, so we better do it sooner than later. That is my favorite email. Gross negligence, guys. That's exactly what happened here with all of this. They definitely didn't order the deletion of 33,000 emails from Hillary's private server. Not at all. There's no smoking gun right there on the screen for everyone to see. The other thing that came out of this, Donna Brazile lost her job at CNN finally. There's more money. There's more money to hire me now, guys. So if you need me at CNN, and I promise not to sneak questions to anybody. She actually snuck, it started with one, it looked like she snuck every question she could to the Hillary Rodham Clinton campaign. So what a great time. down in Brazil, doing work for the team. And I missed this email. I've been looking for it. I've been Googling the stuff. I have yet to see. Has anybody seen that? We have an audience full of experts here. Nobody's seen the one where they're like, hey, we want to be as honest as possible during this campaign, so please stop sending us insider information. Oh my gosh. This was my favorite too, and get ready with this clip, guys. James Carville now, if you weren't so sure if he was a master spin machine 24 years ago or whatever it was, he's trying his hardest on MSNBC. Run the clip.
So the American democracy is really under attack here. And the question is, how are we, and particularly how are Democrats going to respond to this? I mean, we have to understand this is really, really quite extraordinary. And it would seem to me that the FBI shouldn't be getting rolled by the House Republicans. And that's what happened here. There's nothing else that's going on. And at the meantime, we do know that our democracy is under assault by the KGB. I mean, to me, that's something we ought to be talking about. That's a very pertinent, relevant issue in this campaign. And people have to decide, do we want our country for ourselves, or the people in charge, or are we going to let the KGB and the House Republicans decide this election? So
that's James Carville connecting now the FBI, the RNC, and Russia, because we need to just make sure that the conspiracy is 15 points of light at this point. I'm not sure who's next, maybe like the Colonel Sanders, something like that. And by the way, I really like, he dresses worse than me on TV. He was wearing a dumpy LSU sweater, and the trick was they put so many boxes around him that you can't see what he's wearing in this picture. This is the new book to explain everything now that it's Russia's fault. Hillary came out with this one this week. Everyone I don't like is a Russian hacker. And of course, this wonderful book that Chelsea's reading to her daughter now, Nana Goes to Prison, just to get her ready. You gotta be ready, you know, it's just accepting of others, and when your grandmother goes to prison, you never know. The best part about this, too, is that Hillary said that this letter, and all the Democrats, in fact, said that this letter was just sent to Republicans, which is amazing. It shows their reading comprehension skills. Because, sure, there are Republicans on the first page, but then the entire second page, Democrats, and then the third page, Democrats as well. So all she had to do was flip the page and see that it was Democrats. So if you hear any Democrats saying that it only went to Republicans, it went to all Democrats. More Democrats than Republicans, in fact. How bad is it getting for Hillary? She's pulled out Alicia Machado, and I thought Trump was the only person who had former porn stars with him on stage. But also, the fact that Alicia Machado was an accessory to murder and threatened a judge makes her a perfect fit to open for Hillary. This was the Huffington Post trying to counteract it after the letter dropped from the FBI on Friday. A half hour later, the Huffington Post tried to show a video of Donald Trump sexually humiliating a woman in front of a live audience. The live audience of nearly 3,000 people who laughed, and the woman who laughed along with it, and everybody was having a great time, didn't quite work. And then, this is the best part. If you take a look, can we go back one slide there? Sorry. That was run on the Huffington Post's main page. It was debunked when that Miss Universe then, I believe it was a Miss Universe, came out and said that it was okay, forward. But they debunked it on HuffPost Politics Canada and not HuffPost Politics America. That's true. They did not put that on Huffington Post Politics America. And this is how bad it's getting, and I think the Democrats are out of everything they can have against Donald Trump. Because this week, the New York Times cover story talked about Trump doing something that is illegal now that was totally legal when he did it in the 90s. So that brings us to a new segment. Things that were legal in the 90s that are illegal now. Thanks. Smoking in restaurants. If you smoked, that could be a cover story on the New York Times. Next one. Advertising your lack of manhood in Michigan. Now, I Googled it, and this guy actually did not have a penis from the age of 6, and this is him celebrating getting a prosthetic at like 40, and apparently it was 8 inches. Just wanted to let you guys know that. I couldn't figure out why this guy was excited when I looked up advertising lack of manhood. Next slide. Prison rape. Also illegal in the 90s. Totally illegal now. Next one. The date rape drug was legal in the 90s, illegal now, and that brings me to somebody else that was legal in the 90s and not legal now. These guys were legal in the 90s. And are not legal now. Next one. Keep going. Listen. Actually, Will Upton, who's on the show later on, was the one that said, if you had Anthony Weiner in your poll, your office poll, you won big time this election cycle. I just want to say, so let's go ahead and take a look at some things about Anthony Weiner really quickly. There were so many puns about Anthony Weiner, I figured why use our writing staff's effort when we can just turn to Twitter. Next one. There's a great picture. Next one. When they go low, we go high. I get it. Good, good. Next one. Now somebody has to pull out. So you get it? Dickie leaks. It's funny. Hillary screwed by Weiner. That's not Bill's. To be honest, she's probably never been screwed by a Weiner at all. And go ahead. Sorry, we have a crack team here. While all that was happening, Attorney General Loretta Lynch was pleading the fifth on secret Iran payments, and which I have no problems with because they're secret. So you got to keep them secret, right? That's logical strategy. You guys are dirty. You all belong in jail. That should be public information. $1.7 billion. We want to know what happened. I've got student loans to pay. You can pay them off with that money instead of terrorists. Anyway. The next missile that gets fired at us is worth how many student loan payments? So that brings us to this week's Skirting the Question, which we try every week for Will Upton to come up on stage with me and ask a question, at which point I will try to avoid it as the Obama administration and Hillary Clinton does. Will, is your microphone on? Get up here.
Yep, I think so.
Let's talk about marijuana. You have a
Go ahead.
Tim. Why didn't you dress up as anything for Halloween this year?
Why do we talk about fashion when there's such a high level of stress and there's so much going on in this election cycle? I don't understand why it comes down to clothing and how people wear. You don't judge men and women the same way with the clothing that they wear. I don't hear people asking, what's Donald Trump going to wear to debates?
But Tim, Halloween's not about, pretending to be wearing something. It's about children's joy. It's about candy, giving children the candy, getting kind of part of the season, part of the theme of it all, and pretending to be somebody else.
Do you know how many illegal children could potentially come into this country if we if we open our borders? I mean, it's just it's stressful. I mean, we see the children in Syria. There's just a lot of things. They're getting blown up over there. Do you see that little boy in the ambulance?
Yeah.
Why are we bringing children into a conversation on a comedy show? I don't understand it.
All right, so if you're anti-children, anti-candy, and anti-Halloween, what kind of solutions would you want to see the government then actually implement?
Again, bringing policy into a holiday, that's almost like mixing church and state. And to me, there should not be a mixing of church and state. I feel like that should be separate. I'm not sure. And maybe I shouldn't even weigh in on that question. But I don't know why we're talking about government regulating a holiday. I don't even know how we got there. And I'm not sure why you're asking those questions of me right now.
Why do you hate children then? Because it seems to be in here. Why do you hate children?
I feel like you support Evan McMuffin in this campaign. And therefore, get off my stage. And that was skirting the question. And by the way, it was completely different in rehearsal, but that's fine. I think I did okay. It's also my show, so whatever. I'll do what I want. By the way, I want to thank Mary for our clicker died. So I've got Mary clicking here in front. She's doing a great job. Next slide, by the way. Thank you. Did anybody else catch Charles Koch trolling the world by dressing as Darth Vader for Halloween? Amazing. And then tweeting about it and laughing about it. And apparently he was the only person dressed up for Halloween at Koch Industries. Amazing. By the way, I hear you guys have some money you could give the show. Anyway, let's talk about great Halloween costumes. Here's Hillary Goes to Prison with Donald Trump. Next one. This is Baby Trump. That's a good one. Next one. Here's Hillary Duff and her offensive boyfriend who's dressed up as Elizabeth Warren. Here's Amy Schumer.
A lot of costume.
And here's Lena Dunham. That's crazy. People had the best Halloween costumes this year. And I just want to say this right now. If you are one of the people who has a problem with the design on the Starbucks cups, maybe reevaluate your life. There's nothing religious about Starbucks, and we can't force religion on Starbucks, so who cares what the cups look like? By the way, this is just the election cup. It's a bunch of people that, and it's supposed to be diverse or something like that. This was one of the conspiracy theories on it, is that it's the Arab flag. Come on, if you've got that much time on your hands, maybe, I don't know, get a second job, do something creative with your life, I don't know. Next one. This is actually the holiday cup this year, which I really think Starbucks is trolling everyone because they took that basic red cup from last year, and it looks like they jizzed on it. So they wanted to just rub it in for all you jerk-offs out there that have the time to mock Starbucks. If you want to fix the cup, though, and make it religious, take the mural of Ben Carson and just put it on the cup for yourself. And by the way, I didn't come up with that. That is Jemiah Lemieux from Twitter from a year ago. Brilliant. That is one of the most brilliant cups I think I've ever seen. Before we go, I just want to show you guys. Gary Johnson's hanging in there. This is from 2 years ago at CPAC, but it went viral when he faked a heart attack on stage in response to a Republican saying, or a super conservative saying that marijuana will give you heart attacks. Go ahead and run the clip.
Let's talk about marijuana. You have a 1 in 5, a higher chance of having a heart attack within the first hour after you smoke marijuana. There are legitimate side effects of this drug. The THC, when in the 60s, you know, I think the governor has had great fun with his humor, but this isn't it isn't funny that we're putting our kids and the future of this country at risk. It's not funny. It is something that we as Americans have got to pay attention to.
Gary Johnson, American hero. You gotta admit, I mean, there's 2 governors on that ticket. They wouldn't be bad if he, kept his mouth shut. Right? Be really upset if I was a libertarian right now. You guys had a real hell of a chance this time and just couldn't pull it through. Aleppo, God, anyway, whatever. Listen, I want to thank an organization that helps us out every week, Gen FKD. They do some great work for millennials. They're on 28 campuses right now. It looks like they're going to end up being on 40 campuses by the end of next semester. They're expanding. They're teaching kids financial knowledge. They're doing a really, really great job. We have a video that they do. They produce little videos about news and things that interest them and millennials, and we're going to run that right now.
Halloween is just around the corner, and spending on the ghoulish holiday is set to hit records this year. Halloween started out as a religious holiday. Today it's celebrated by people of all religions all around the world. Trick-or-treating has been popular in America for at least a century, and more than 70% of Americans today celebrate Halloween. According to the National Retail Federation, spending on Halloween will hit a record this year at $83 per person. That's up steeply from last year's $74. 7 in 10 consumers hand out candy, and over 50% of people dress up and decorate their houses. You might not be surprised that this year the top Halloween costumes for children are superheroes and princesses. And of course, adults like dressing up too. And many people in the online age get their ideas from sites like Pinterest and YouTube. Halloween is, of course, many people's favorite holiday, and this year's spending is set to break records, estimated to come in at around $8.5 billion. It's a lot of money, approximately the GDP of the Bahamas. As Halloween shows us, holidays are joyous occasions, but they're also huge drivers of retail spending. In a very precarious situation. This is David Grasso for Gen FKD. Happy Halloween.
Thanks again to Gen FKD and welcome back. As you know, we are less than a week away. This time next week, we will know who the next president of the United States is. But we're going to have a lot of dead wood left over after this thing is said and done. So in that case, we decided to come up with a little segment called Dump 'em or Keep 'em. Originally it was called The Purge, but that sounds too much like killing them, thanks to the movies. Dump them or keep them. Will's going to name off some names here that are involved in this election cycle. And we're going to say dump them or keep them. I'm probably going to keep a lot more because I have a career these guys don't have to worry about. So go ahead, Will. Give us a couple of names and let's talk about it.
All right, Louise Mensch.
Gone. She's dumped.
Deport.
Now, she's the, of course, we want to clarify that she is the editor of Heat Street who has been helping out Evan McMullen, who isn't even an American citizen. She's not an American citizen. She should not even be involved in our politics.
And she desperately wanted to work for the Clinton campaign.
Yes.
All right, speaking of Evan McMullen.
Gone. He's gone too, right? He's got to go. That's it. He can get a nice job as a consultant under Mitt Romney in Utah.
Moving on from there, GOP political consultant Rick Wilson.
Gone. Rick Wilson's gone. Are you good on?
No comment on that one. I think Rick's heart's in the right place.
I'll defend Rick. I like Rick. I think we keep him.
2-1. I'd say get rid of him. Go ahead.
All right. LifeSite editor and radio talk show host Laura Ingraham.
Keep her. Where are you at on her?
I think there's a crisis in Germany, and it's through with immigration, and I think she could do a lot of good there. You know.
Oh, so you want to dump Laura Ingraham?
I'd say send her abroad for a couple of years. Think about some things.
She scares the crap out of me. Keep her.
She's smart. Yeah, she's smart. Anyway.
Corey Lewandowski.
Keep. Now, here's the thing about Corey Lewandowski. And you guys may not like him, and there was that whole thing where he grabbed a woman by her upper arm and she had bruises on her forearm. We won't talk about that. But he ran the most successful campaign of modern history with the least amount of money. I think he's brilliant for what he did, and you can't knock it, regardless how much you do or do not like him.
I think you're entirely right. I mean, it's actually very impressive coming from his background, what he was able to do with that campaign in the primaries. Which was shocking.
Right? He ran a great campaign. I mean, I think people are most mad that they got beat by Corey Lewandowski.
Yep.
Although I think that his aggressive style would fit well to Dunkin' Donuts across the street from me right now, so I'd like to keep him.
Here and the bruises. Anyway.
Roger Stone.
He can go. That's the one Trump person that I think. Well, but he can just be on InfoWars forever. That's where he is now. I'm happy with him being on InfoWars.
So I kind of want to see this Chuck Johnson, Roger Stone feud play out. And, you know, like, insanity is the spice of life. And so I'm totally all about keeping Roger Stone.
I think we keep Roger Stone.
Skip the senators. Skip those guys.
All right, where are we going to go here?
Oh, Bobby Penzenbeck.
Yeah, Bobby Penzenbeck.
Get rid of him.
Yeah, we purged Bobby.
Get rid of Bobby.
Yep.
Lena Dunham needs company. I'm going to take one for the team and exit the country with her, so it's fine.
Oh. Yeah, go ahead. Who's
David Frum.
Oh, I thought that said David French.
No, David Frum, who just wrote the article today about how he voted for Hillary Clinton. He was a Bush speechwriter. He's like he founded the Frum Forum.
He's Canadian. Deport him. He likes gun control. He likes socialized medicine. I think he only agreed with Trump on immigration.
And I think we keep David French.
Deport him back to Canada.
I think we keep David French because he's not Evan McMullen.
Right.
Like, he decided not to be that guy. And his decision not to be that guy means keep him. Go ahead.
All right, Jeb Bush.
Bobby?
I mean, look, you can say bad words about the future head of the Illuminati. I'm not going to.
I might have to. You know, what's crazy to me is that an article came out today that George W. might vote Hillary. My vote might counteract George W.'s in Texas. That blows my mind.
I mean, isn't it...
How are we there?
Isn't it just baffling that people would vote for someone like Trump, given how much difference there is between the two parties, that, George W. Bush would vote for Hillary? It's just baffling to me why people would vote for Trump in that scenario. It's almost like they have everything in common and nothing against each other. But
what if how about we just get rid of the exclamation point with Jeb and keep Jeb?
That's a good idea. All right, David Duke.
He should never be kept. Like, that should never be. I disavow him on this list. We have to say that every time you say David Duke. He's disavowed.
He's disavowed.
Yeah.
Not just getting rid of, disavowed.
Yeah.
Mark Levin.
I'm indifferent. Oh, I was told to keep him.
Keep him. Keep him.
The audience likes him. I'm indifferent.
I think he's lost his audience. I think he played a dangerous game with Trump, and he lost. And I think a lot of his audience is going to just lose him altogether.
He, like Rush Limbaugh and Glenn Beck, go into one room, one poll stick.
I'm into that.
And one guy walks out.
And one walks out. That's fine.
Well, along those lines, Sean Hannity.
Keep him. I like Sean Hannity.
Make American hair great again. Keep Sean Hannity.
Keep Sean Hannity. He's an Irish Catholic. We need more Irish Catholics around.
I got it.
Per the clip earlier, Joe Scarborough.
Yeah. I like Joe. I think Joe and Hannity might be the exact same person, by the way. Just, I think one's got the morning and one's got the night. It's just him. He just works all day long under different aliases.
You know, the hair and the glasses look attached, like they just sort of go in and switch out the. Yeah, that makes sense.
How about we keep Joe Scarborough? We can his stupid band. Anyway, he's got a band.
A Republican appointee, James Comey, the director of the FBI.
I'm half and half on this. I'm like the Democrats on this one. It's like,
I mean, I think
depends on what he's done that week. Right now, he's in the keep zone. Right?
Is there anyone who's like inside that Southwest want to get away commercial more so than like James Comey right now? Like,
all right, 3 more.
All right, 3 more. Vladimir Putin.
Keep him.
You know, he's doing more than the American mainstream media right now to expose corruption. I cannot believe I'm saying that.
If it's him doing it.
You know, if he rode around on a bear for a couple of years.
I think he'd be bragging about it if he was doing it. And I don't think he is. I'm still one of those few people that the Twitter people are not from him. I don't buy it.
Who was it? McAfee, James McAfee just came out the other day and said that it was, or John McAfee, the antivirus guy, you know, just said that he thinks it was the Iranians who hacked the DNC.
By the way, before we get any further, send in your questions. We're going to answer them in a couple of seconds. Once we're done, 2 more of these, and then we're going to answer your questions at home.
All right, Tommy Lahren.
Tommy Lahren is a national treasure, and Tommy, if you're watching.
Tommy, to me, is a caricature of the casting on Fox. And so, that's all. That's what she is. She's like, I don't know what the answer is.
All right, we're going to draw some out from this because he's like the ultimate never Trumper, but how about Bill Kristol?
Gone. Yeah. Bobby's worried about a job.
I'm not worried about anything.
Never going to hire me.
If there was anyone I would have deported 20 years ago, you know, God knows, it'd be Bill Kristol. And you know, amazingly, I still feel that way now. Just dreadful, absolutely dreadful.
I hear he brings lawn gnomes to life, and that is a magical power. But
he retweets me a lot, though. So can we keep him, please? Like, I like getting retweeted
just
by
for you.
Yeah.
Well, somebody's got to retweet you. All right, so there's that. Let's get some questions from the home audience. You guys have them down there. It's a shame we don't have better headphones right now because we could hear John, who is behind the camera. John, if you want to put yourself on camera, you can go ahead and do that. And send some questions our way today. Cool. All right, so we got a pile of questions from the home audience on Facebook. All right. What celebrity endorsement would send Trump over the top?
I think either Britney Spears or Kim Kardashian.
Doesn't he have Kim Kardashian?
Did Kardashian endorse Trump?
No, I think...
No, she endorsed Hillary, I thought.
I think the Hillary people got to her. She was wavering.
I think if Brit were to endorse Donald Trump, it would actually seal the deal, potentially.
I believe Wendy Williams. Or,
Beyonce.
You know, a lot of...
I watched a lot of daytime TV today, so Tia and Tamara, too, would be great. I don't know if you remember that. Sister. They're pulling people. Chuck Norris is still alive. Yeah, he would be good, too. Go ahead.
A lot of black voters staying home for Hillary. He just came out against Black Lives Matter, saying it was dumb shit. Lil Wayne, Free Weezy, if he came out for Trump, I think he could just put him over the top.
What city will be set on fire first if Hillary loses? My bet is a city that's on fire all the time, and that's Baltimore. So it's just a consistent, the eternal flame that is Baltimore burning.
I agree. I mean, I would say Detroit, but Detroit's already like a pile of rubble.
Yeah.
I think New Jersey, you know, Chris Christie's fury plus like crippling urban poverty, it makes Baltimore look like a safety town. So,
what song best encapsulates this entire election cycle? You guys first.
I'm thinking the opening of Bohemian Rhapsody. Like, is this the real life, or is this just fantasy? Whatever. No escape from reality. That's sort of how I felt.
I think REM's "It's the End of the World as We Know It."
And that was a cheap answer. And I was going to go with the Insane Clown Posse's entire Great Milenko album. I don't know if you guys have heard that one. Great, that's a good one.
It's probably cheap on Amazon right now. Just a guess.
Okay, this is from Donnie Jennings. How do we force action against Hillary?
Well, I mean, I think the key there is, I mean, this is actually something I was talking with some folks about the other day. I mean, say she does get indicted like next week, and she still like wins, and then the Democrats take the Senate, the Republicans have the House. You kind of have a constitutional crisis scenario there, where if the Democrats refuse to actually move on impeachment in the Senate and like actual removal, yet we impeach her in the House, like what happens? And she's under indictment. Like that could be a nightmare scenario.
Yeah. If Trump doesn't win and it looks as bad as it does, although not today, but I could see a Cersei Lannister situation where she just sort of nukes all of her enemies in one fell swoop and just goes on being who she is. She's never been caught yet.
Yeah.
When is she going to get caught? They're always one step ahead, and I think she's going to stay that way. So keep doing what we're doing, but nothing.
Yeah. What's your favorite Podesta email so far? The one I tweeted today. We didn't even get it into the PowerPoint tonight about what was it? If this gets out, it's going to be trouble for us. And it was talking about, it basically broke down the entire Clinton Foundation business scheme in one email. It was just remarkable. And it came out after after Chelsea Clinton had uncovered it. So that was an amazing email. I think that's the smoking gun, super smoking gun.
So I think the general theme of his emails has been absolutely hysterical. He seems like the only sane person in a room full of lunatics.
Yeah.
Which is funny because my favorite Podesta email is the one from years ago where he asked Hillary if she could get to the bottom of Area 51. He's a huge conspiracy theorist, Area 51 nerd, if anybody didn't know that. So in this light, it's hysterical.
My favorite exchange was just Neera Tanden and John Podesta just ragging on David Brock and being like, "Is this guy for real? Is he a plant? Is he crazy?" Like, I mean, it was actually like hilarious to watch him just like completely savage this man.
Sandra Stewart asks, who do you think Trump will pick for Secretary of State?
Ooh, that's a tough question, actually. I mean, I think somebody like either General Mike Flynn, who could also be at DOD though, but it's going to be. Yeah, I think Flynn's DOD, but state.
Who's left?
I'm looking for a job. I'm happy to be your Secretary of State.
I'm nominating Will Upton for state. Although failing that, someone with lesser facial hair, John Bolton, seems like he's sort of popped on that.
Bolton is one. Yeah,
probably. I would think Bolton. Yeah, I'll go with Bolton on that one. And finally tonight, because it's about to start, if there hasn't been a pitch yet, there has been a pitch. Who's going to win the World Series?
Oh, the Cleveland Indians, come on. If there's one thing that I'm a true conservative, and the curse of the GOAT is very important to keep that going. We don't want to change traditions. That is an American tradition.
Curse of the GOAT is one thing. I don't know if you guys noticed, Charlie Sheen showed up today with beads and with Joe Boo.
Man. I will say
I think the fix is in.
The Cubs are up 1-0 already. So let's let you guys go on and watch the World Series right now. Thanks for joining us. Next week, we will be on air Monday night, an pre-election night special, and I will be in San Antonio the night after that helping out Congressman Will Hurd. If you guys live in the San Antonio area or know friends who live in the San Antonio area, make sure they go out. He's in a tough race, and I want to make sure that he is a good guy, and I want to make sure he gets back into Congress. So vote Will Hurd next week. That's my one endorsement that I will totally give anywhere, anytime. And thanks for watching the show. So we'll see you on Monday night.